thing, the music thing. I'll just stop it for now. And I think we will jump to the reaction. Can pretty much only see chat and can see how my stream is behaving in terms of slow and so on. And I hope the audio is at good level. I'll pull it back a bit. Hopefully guys can hear both Necrit and me. Let's get out of this. That is, we'll watch at least this video. And then we will see how I feel about at least the first 3 of these. These two aren't all that heavy and stuff I can talk about. I know little about League lore, and the goal here is to it's obvious Necrit was cutting stuff short to not make a 3-hour long video. Yes, man can talk about League lore all day long and not run out of stuff to say. So I decided this reaction to extend on it a bit, like where I can. Because I wanted to, I suppose. It's my Twitch channel. I can do whatever the hell I want here. This kind of stuff. Thinking is what I had in mind. Yeah. So we'll watch the video, and when I have something to say, I'll pause it and say it. Maybe this will make it to YouTube, maybe not. Let's go. I try not to talk over him. And let's remember, this was before like Zario, Renata, Belveth, and everything after that came out. So yeah. Certain champion isn't here. They probably came out after video was made.
That video is outdated now. We have talked about the most powerful champions according to the lore, and then we did it again after Riot retconned their old universe, and we even talked about the weakest champions according to the lore. But
Yep.
we have never ranked
Haven't seen those.
based on their power in the lore compared to each other. So that's what we are fixing today. Today we will rank every single champion based on their power in the
Like, it's not necessarily how strong they are in combat, but how much of a power they have even outside of combat. Like, if something is a powerful magical being, it's obvious it's going to have more potential power, higher potential power level than just a human, right? Even if it's not specializing in combat. Putting just not looking at whether it's there are combat focus and support focus, just putting it all in one level, one thing, as potential power, not necessarily combat power, as I said. That's what this playlist is. Yes. How much power champion has, like their magic power and so on, their potential power, not necessarily in just straight out combat. I hope that makes sense. Kind of made to me.
We will be ranking what their power can be as. Or if
Yeah.
you want to make that comparison, we will be judging their power level. But power level
Power but at combat.
doesn't come only from combat. Lilia is a good example. If Lilia fought Set, Set would probably snap
Yep.
her neck. But that doesn't mean that Lilia is weaker than Set. She is still a spirit born from the dreams in Ionia. Her power level is much higher than
Wasn't cinematic.
So when we talk about this list, remember that we are boiling the champions down to a single number. We will be calling that the power level. However, if one champion is above the other, that doesn't necessarily mean that the higher one will be able to take down the lower one in combat. Power doesn't always come from fighting. With that
Yes.
said, we will not be taking into account political power. Swain is one of the leaders of an entire empire. That should give him a massive political influence. But that that kind of influence on other people is not necessarily his fault.
Yeah.
It's just that the other people trust him, or are forced to trust him. So we are
Nice
focusing
timing.
purely on individuals. Lastly, I understand that a lot of people will have their bias. We all main some champions. But even if you main a champion, just understand that maybe your main is not that powerful in the lore. Just
Lore.
deal with it. And to make sure I'm in the
Lore.
right place and this list is as fair as possible, we spent 4 hours on stream moving around the different champions to strike the perfect balance. There still are some champions that are debatable, but we will talk about these as we get to them. So now, without further ado, since we have more than 150 different champions to talk about,
That's a lot.
let me try to briefly justify the placement of all of them. Looking at this list, understand that the letters don't matter. It doesn't matter if a champion is S rank or A rank. What matters is the placement compared to each other.
I watched several reactions to this video, to many of Necrit's videos, and like certain people will try to guess who's where. I'm like, who cares how you recognize the pixels? We're here to see you talk about the video, not about pixels. I have a lot to say about reactions because I like watching reactions. Reactions is what got me into Hermitcraft, what in turn got me into actually streaming. So I have a lot of opinions. I love reactions. It's like watching a video with someone. I like watching videos with people, but like there's not a lot of. I like watch a lot of YouTube in English, so my mom can't watch it with me, and I barely talk to my brother because he grew up to be a lot like our father, annoying and bold. No offense to actual bold people. You guys are awesome. Just my brother and my father are a bit especially my father. I don't talk to that man. I haven't talked to that man in years, and I'm happy for it. But like, yeah. Let me sip my water. Great moment to stream when my throat hurts all the time. Awesome. At least my arm doesn't hurt. It hurt yesterday. Had blood tests done. I need to do some phone calls on Monday. I hate doing phone calls. Despise it. But now who's to blame for that? My father. But we're not here to talk about my family issues. Here to talk about League of Legends. There are some champions on this list. Placements I would like go like and say they should be lower. But I will comment on that.
That's why instead of using this kind of list, we will be using this kind of list. This has all
Yeah.
the champions in one list compared to each other.
Mhm.
Even though this looks very complicated, it is very easy to understand. The most powerful champions are at the top, the weakest at the bottom. And in each row, the most powerful is on the left and the weakest is on the right. However, we still have 5 champions at the very bottom which don't have any lore. Or even if they do, the lore tells us nothing about their power. This is mainly the Voidborn, Corvus, who was only ever mentioned in a scene, Shaco, who really just doesn't exist, and Amumu, who is just a legend. We have no idea what's happening with him. So now,
Okay, if I don't see
finally,
that.
let's get onto the list.
An
Here's
annoying
a
thing
video
on
where
my
we have
screen.
ranked the weakest champions according to the lore. You may remember that the old crowned king of the weakest champions was Draven. Draven
Not
is
much
a
to say here.
who is a good fighter,
Or
but
then
not real good.
1 moment.
That's why he used to be the worst. But ever since then, things changed slightly. First of all, the new crowned king of the weakest champions in League is Seraphine. She is literally a person who can hear your thoughts. The end. I wonder how that's gonna protect her from the plate testers. But above
Yeah.
her, instead of Draven, we have Jinx. And there's only one reason why that is the case. You see, Jinx is just a crazy person with a gun. Jinx is the Florida man of Runeterra. She is certainly dangerous, but compared to all the other magical creatures on this list, she's really not that strong. And the only reason why Draven would be able to beat her is because very recently Riot tried to give us some context as to how Draven works. His problem used to be that when he throws out his axe, he can't get it back again. But Riot tried to argue that he has more axes hanging on his belt. Now,
I figure what Draven is. He used to be in Oxen military. His brother. Honestly, I would put him like closer to like Ezreal Graves. Only because he has some military training. Doesn't mean his combat style is too effective with its throwing of those knives. I'm just saying that he has some military training. He may be able to go around this lose your weapon thing, right? Um, but like, it's fair. It's fair. Tosses away his axes, has no more weapons. Makes sense. But he should be higher, in my opinion.
But you know what? That's a good reason why Draven could be at least equal to Jinx. So if Karina's Necrit when you think is weaker, these two are just the worst. Not as bad as her though. This may surprise a lot of you, but remember that Annie has no real idea how to use her power.
And this was before the card game, Legend of Runeterra, did certain things. And Legends of Runeterra isn't completely canon, as we see in the whole Darken thing happening there. It's showing us possibilities, not necessarily 100% certain lore. Of course, when it introduced Kayle and Morgana's marriage, that's most likely canon. Sometimes it's canon unless proven otherwise that this is their mother, right? And because in Legend of Runeterra, Annie got some magical training. She has a bit more control of Tybolg's power there, according to that lore. But it's not in the canon lore on the universe website. That's a distinction.
The only thing that ever happens to her is that when she gets scared, Tibbers comes to life to save her. And that's all that ever happens. Unlike what she does in the game, in the lore she doesn't really know how to use spells. It just randomly happens. Then there
Main lore.
Twitch's advantage is that he's a mutant. He can get wounded and then be fine.
I would put him under Jinx,
He has a really deadly crossbow.
who's a crazy rat.
One who would be able to beat him is Blitzcrank.
Yeah, I would put Twitch under Jinx. He's a crazy rat with deadly weapon. He would be certainly weaker, in my opinion, than a crazy woman with a gun. Though his mutant status helps him, right? I'm like, he's a rat. Yes, he can heal, but how much damage can a rat withstand, right? Like, that's me nitpicking.
Physical form, but he does have his limitations. He's a machine, so if people know how he works, they can easily abuse him. And also, his moral code tells him that he shouldn't be harming people.
Yeah.
Believe
It's a good boy.
Cassiopeia. And
Yeah.
for one simple reason. Cassiopeia
I agree with this.
never does what she's actually doing in the game. In the lore, all she ever did is strangle people with her snake tail. However, we should mention the fact that she did petrify someone once. There was a story where she was stressed and she screamed so hard she turned someone into stone. So she does have some abilities, but first of all, it is her curse. She doesn't know how to control it. And we simply don't have that much info on what her abilities are about. She simply needs more lore. But at the very least, she really doesn't have the ability to summon snakes.
Yeah. If she could control it, she would be a lot higher, but it's not something she can control. Yeah, I'll go with that. And now Echo.
Then Echo is kinda shady.
Yeah.
Yes, the ability to manipulate time may sound
Big F for Arcane fans.
yes, with his device he can slow time for a brief moment. And then for quite a while he can't use it again. But that is the stronger ability. His rewinding time is even worse. He can only rewind like 6 seconds back. And he can only do it if he is alive. So one bullet in the head and Echo is done. Not to mention the fact that even if he rewinds, he will still feel the pain from his wounds. This was especially shown in his cinematics. So his abilities are really not that powerful. Then there is Widow.
And Echo doesn't have a lot of combat training. most of his combat skills are self-taught on the streets. So, yeah, someone with proper training can probably easily figure out what the hell he's doing and outmaneuver him because they know what the hell they are doing.
Mundo speaks for himself.
Yeah,
He is physically
I
strong
will
and
agree with
he is
Mundo.
talented. Then there is Ezreal, and right after Ezreal there will be a lot of champions with a very similar power level. Ezreal's only issue is that he doesn't really know how to control his glove perfectly. He himself doesn't really have any kind of professional training, and oftentimes
Mm.
he has no idea what he's doing. He's kinda squeezing the glove and hoping that something good happens. So while the glove of Nazuk, the artifact which he has, is really powerful, Ezreal doesn't know how to fully unlock its potential. On a
Yeah.
similar level, then there is Graves. Graves' power really comes from two things. Living in the underground, he has lived through a lot of shootouts. He knows how to
Mm.
fight people. But also, his shotgun is just really powerful. And since it is partially enhanced with magic and hextech, it is just really strong. Very slightly above him there is Miss Fortune. Yes, she is just a human. But on top of Graves, her combat mastery is a bit higher. She is far more agile,
Mm.
she has charm on her side, and similar to Graves, her guns were crafted by the best smiths in Bilgewater, her parents. On a similar level, above her, we have Alistar. While Alistar is really strong because he is a Minotaur, that's kinda where his powers end. He would be
Mm.
able to take a lot of hits and he would last for very long. But anyone with at least a little bit of training would be able to outmaneuver him. Or if they are clever, they can
Yeah.
outlast him. Really, compared to the other Minotaurs which we
I
know
don't have
from
much to say about
Bilgewater,
Alistair.
Alistar should be one of the weaker ones. Then there's Caitlyn.
Honestly, Alistair should get some updates on him. I don't think that's going to come soon. He's not too popular and he's not a sexy girl.
Above everyone else, he actually has a really powerful hextech machinery
Yeah.
on his side, that being his hammer. But the real benefit he has comes from his intellect. He is very smart. But his
Yep.
smartness probably won't outmaneuver Vi. While
Jace is a smart guy who thinks he can fight, but then someone like Vi who actually knows how to fight comes up, and it's like, no, you go back to your lab, boy.
he's proud of his hammer himself. Vi's Atlas gauntlets were enhanced
Yeah,
by the professionals in the Piltover military.
yeah. Let's remember, arcane lore is different from main universe lore. In main universe, she found them doing a heist, and then they were improved by the Piltover military.
Present days, Vi would be
Hmm.
above Jace. And of course, above her, we would have Caitlyn, who not only has a really deadly hextech
Yeah.
sniper rifle, but she also has professional tracer training on her side. Though even that kind of tracing.
Yeah, I would say Vi and Caitlyn are interchangeable because it would all depend on which one would win. It would depend on the situation. If Vi can close the distance, then she can win. If she can't, then she has no chance against Caitlyn.
Training would not outlast Gangplank, whose power really comes from his stubbornness and refusal to quit. He lost his arm and he came back.
Yeah,
He was tested by Ilawi with the power of Nagakemoros, and he passed the test of his will. He was deemed worthy of living by the gods themselves.
oranges.
That alone makes Gangplank more powerful than anyone else so far. And this is where the power level jumps up a bit. So now we
Yeah.
have people who are either military veterans, or they have some kind of a special or magical training. First there is Irelia. Irelia comes from a family of
Mhm.
weavers. They were weaver dancing. And it so happens that her weaver dances are able to manipulate blades that come from her family crest.
Yeah.
She was quite strong even when she was young. That's when she cut off Swain's hand. But she is still somewhat inexperienced compared to the others. What she's really lacking
Yeah.
is some professional training. Irelia is purely self-taught. She knew how to dance, then she realized she can manipulate blades, and she herself started training with the blades. So,
Yeah.
someone like Riven would be above her. Because
I
not
would put
only
even a bit
is
higher.
Riven's blade far more powerful than what Irelia has. Remember that
Like,
the weapon was
Headblade is
crafted by
broken.
the Black Rose. But also, Riven was trained in the Noxian military. She got
Yeah.
a proper soldier's training. So those combined would rank her higher. And she would be roughly on the same level as someone like Akali. Akali is partially spiritually attuned to Ionia, even though her bond is not really that strong. But she also has her Kinku training, with the Kinku being one of the most powerful orders
I would put Akali higher too.
Ionia. And then we have two Yordles who are highly debatable. There is Nar and Fizz. The issue with those two is that they are primitive.
Yeah, I would put Irelia Riven and Akali at least above Quinn.
Nar is the
That's me.
Yordle on Runeterra, and Fizz
That's a me opinion.
And while Nar's mega form would be able to defeat anyone else so far, he is not
Mm-hmm.
smart, and so the rest would be able to outmaneuver him. And with Fizz, the issue is that Fizz just never fights. He
Yeah.
drives around and plays with people, but he never really does anything beyond that. Yordles usually rank higher up because they are Yordles. Their
Yeah.
normal power level is really high, but they are brought even higher because of their intellect. Yordles
They do be
are
smart.
but not these two. That's why these
No.
two are debatable. So if
They're
you would put
highly
them
primitive.
higher, I would understand.
Mm.
And then there is Gragas. While the Iceborn are really strong people,
Right,
Gragas
Pierce.
is lacking
Thanks.
any kind of real weapon.
Yeah.
Yes, he would be able to punch you to death, but that's kinda where he ends. He
Mm.
is physically insanely strong, but nothing more than that. He
Mm.
would be on a similar level as someone like Quinn. Quinn's issue is
Yeah.
that she is no assassin.
Not a
She's
fighter.
killer. She's a scout. She is really good at sneaking around and scouting areas. But when
Yeah. She has some knowledge how to defend herself, but not
she
much.
gets into a fight, she's not that good. As an example, in the Garen novel, Quinn almost
Mm.
died after fighting two people at once. Valor does a lot to help her, and we are counting that power. That's why she is a lot higher than someone like Caitlyn. But still, she is really not that strong. And above her, we would have the two Noxian assassins. Of them, Talon is absolutely the stronger one. That's why he's above her. However, neither of those two assassins are
Yeah.
perfect. The reason why Katarina has a scar on her face is because she failed as an assassin. That's why she was kicked out. And Talon managed to fail to kill Katarina.
No complaints here.
So neither of them are perfect clones. That's why above them we would have the Demacian crew. Fiora, Jarvan, and
I
Demacia
would.
are both interchangeable.
I would put Samira around here. She is a skilled fighter with very good weapon. She doesn't have magic. Doesn't have anything
I
special.
think that Garen and Jarvan should be on the same kind of level, because from their childhood they have always been training together. The two are great friends.
Mm.
And the reason why I would put Garen slightly
Yeah.
higher is because, unlike Jarvan, Garen
More
is
experience.
losing battles far more often. He
Mm.
doesn't have more experience. And the very
Exactly.
slight problem with Fiora is that Fiora is focusing on
Mm.
one-on-one battles. She is an amazing duelist, but her combat
Yeah.
abilities are highly limited.
So that's more than one dude at her, and she's useless.
We would have Darius. Darius should be just as strong
Mm.
as Garen. The two would likely be equal. And while Garen has the advantage of having Petricite, the Noxian
I would say Darius is 100% stronger because he has Noxian military training. And I would say they probably teach their fighters a lot better than the Bastions. But that's personal thoughts. Because of how Noxus and Demacia are very different in how they work. Like Noxians constantly fight, constantly conquer new lands. Darius has way more experience and probably way better training.
Noxian soldiers have the Black Iron, which is
Yeah.
mined from the Freljord. And that is the strongest kind of steel that we know about. Darius's armor is nearly unbreakable. If you also count the fact that he's a member of the Triferix, even if we don't count the political power, Darius would be slightly above Garen. Surprisingly, slightly above him, then we have the special people. Just like Twisted Fate, who seems
Yeah.
to be a normal human, but he is actually a mage. And his magical abilities alone would be above the rest. Vayne is on a similar level, but
Twisted Fate is not a super powerful mage, but he is a mage.
he
Some
doesn't have
talent.
advantage of magic. She ranks higher above the rest because of her arsenal alone. She is a really good killer, but she is also being carried by her weapons, which are armed with silver bolts. But better than silver bolts is Lucian, with his guns. The recent event showed us that the Sentinel guns are really powerful. But
I would say you can swap Vayne and Twisted Fate, whether if you think that his magic is putting him above her. But Lucian, yeah. Actually, I would probably put Lucian higher because of the Sentinel things,
Lucian's
but
abilities
not much.
give him slight magical abilities such as his dash. Above
Mm.
Lucian, we will have something like Zac, who is
I would
really
put
just a
Zack near
replacement with
much lower,
but that's
around
really where
Blitz.
Zac ends. He is strong when it comes to slapping people, but he is just a blob after all.
Mm.
On a similar level, we would have Singed. He is a Piltover professor who
Yeah, I would put Zack a lot lower because I don't I don't really know Zack's lore, but I'm going to guess he's not too smart.
by day and a Zonite murderer by night. He managed
Oh,
to figure out how to slightly prolong his own
yeah,
life.
because of the
Before he could
intellect,
try to figure out
not
how
much
to
else.
really become immortal.
He
His
he do
world
be very
experiments
smart.
are some of the creepiest stories which we have in League. And it is all about Singed stitching people together to somehow attaching a
Gross.
smart person onto a strong person, and therefore
Mm.
prolonging the smart person's life. There is the theory that Singed wants to do that to
Ooh.
himself. I highly recommend reading his story. And above Singed, we would have the other crazy
Mm.
person, Jin. Jin's power comes from two different things:
I would actually
his
put him a
love
bit
for
higher.
planning and the Tula Armory. Many people may not know about it, but all the guns that Jin has were sponsored by a secret.
Yeah, I would put Jin higher. He's a highly intelligent, highly efficient killer with very good weapons. I would put him a bit higher.
Ionian Cabal. They are really powerful and magically enhanced, so his arsenal would rank him above the rest. Then we have something like
Even above
Kha'Zix is a Voidborn who is a
Rengar.
boss. He's not really that smart, but physically he gets stronger with every kill. However, he's not really the ever-consuming Voidborn.
Mm.
Surprisingly, Lux would be on a similar level. She is a really strong
Mm.
Voidborn, and she has the potential to be really high up on the list.
She's,
But her
I
issue
think, the
is
right
that Lux
spot.
doesn't really know how to control
Yeah.
herself. That is the point of her story, especially.
Lux is strong enough to single-handedly awaken Gallia, and that takes a lot of magic. And she puts enough light into what's his face, Shadow Demon dude, to seal him away again. I will probably talk about it either if we end up watching different Necrit videos or when we get to that other champion.
Above her, we have the other people who tap into magical abilities, such as Nidalee.
Mm.
She is
Yes,
really just a
because they have
person who
magic.
taps into the ability to morph into a cat. And then there is Kaisa, who really just taps into the ability to have a Voidborn attached to her. She is
Mm.
strong, but it's nothing mind-blowing. And then there is Rengar, who over time is getting stronger and stronger on a way faster rate
Yeah,
than
Avastaya and a skilled hunter.
Don't worry, no, we are not counting the power that comes from the Sentinels of Light, just like for Vayne. This is just Rengar
With
before
that he'd
Rengar.
be much higher.
Then there is Elise, who, just like Nidalee or Kaisa, is a human that is tapping into another
Mm.
source of power, but it just so happens to be that the power of the Shadow Isles is way better, with it being connected to an
Mm.
immortal god
Could
called
argue
Sona.
she could be higher.
Above her, there is Kayn, who is also tapping into another power. The issue with Kayn is that he is still a child, and
Yeah,
his
he's still
shadow
young.
training is nowhere near completion. So he is neither a master of the shadow technique, nor is
He was very resilient against Rust. And still training.
he does it. That's why
Yeah.
he is a lot weaker in the current state than what
Still
people realize.
still impressive.
On a similar level, there would be Warwick, who is really strong and really ferocious, but his insane status kind of
Mm.
cripples him at the same
Yeah.
time. The same goes for Urgot, but Urgot is actually smart. And that's not even talking about him being really resilient, or the fact that he can meat grind people. And slightly above him, there would be Sona, who is a really powerful mage who can make you dance
Oh,
so
Sona
hard
slightly
that your
higher.
bones break. Don't underestimate Sona. And on a very similar level,
Probably
there
above
would be
Orianna.
Orianna. Orianna's power doesn't really come from combat. Yes, she
Mm-hmm.
can fight, but she's no fighter. Her power purely comes from the fact that she's the perfect combination of organic
I
and
actually played
synthetic.
Orianna
She is
back in the day.
assimilated
It was
but
ages
she's
ago
not quite
for
perfect.
the
We'll
lore
get to that.
changes.
And then there is Yumi. While everyone
Mm.
would argue that
Kitty.
Yumi is just a cat, that's not really the case.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing as something like Pix, which Lulu has. So it doesn't matter what she looks like. She may look like a cat, but her power level would be something close to
Yeah.
something like Vastaya, a magical creature.
And she has Nora's book.
Slightly lesser than them. That's why above Yumi we have most of the Vastaya. There is Rakan, who is really the weakest
Yeah.
of them.
She's not a fighter.
Set, who is a really strong fighter,
Mm.
and he is a Vastaya, but his human side is kinda holding him back.
Yeah.
Above him there would be
He's
another
like
super
14.
formidable fighter, Sivir. Sivir would be a lot
Mm.
lower on the list if she didn't hold the Chalikar. The
Yeah.
Chalikar is the blade that was the key to sealing the Darkin inside their weapons.
Strong weapon is really
And
boosting her
Chalikar
here.
alone is insanely good. But above her there is Samira.
Yeah,
Samira
I
is
would
just
put
a
Samira
simple
much lower.
mercenary who is also a tank.
Yeah, I would put Samira near Darius. Because she's a skilled mercenary with good weapons, but she doesn't have magic. Doesn't have anything special like that.
Strong, but what puts her that high on the list is the fact that her arsenal comes from the Black Race.
Mm.
You
I wouldn't
really
say it's
can't
enough.
find more advanced weapons in the entirety of Noxus. Then there is Talia,
Put
a
her
really
lower.
good stone weaver
It's not
who
magic.
suffers from two things. She is
Mm.
really young and inexperienced, and she never got proper training
Yeah.
for her abilities. She was trained by Yasuo when she was in Ionia,
Yeah,
and
unlike
that's really where it ends.
Lux. She has some
With some
training.
proper elemental training from Ishtal, Talia would be a lot higher, but currently
Yeah.
she's not that strong. And finally, to top of this category, there is also Zaya, the last Ionian Vastaya who is by far the deadliest of them.
It's
But
not.
here we have a bit of a
It's not the
twist.
last.
Next up, there is Xinjiao, who many
Hmm.
may know as Viscero. That was his gladiator name. Xinjiao was originally an Ionian soldier. He was insanely powerful, but he was captured by the Noxians during the invasion. Because he was so strong, the Noxians thought it would be
He's
better
hella
if
old,
they used him in the arena. And so, that's where
actually.
things fall.
I think.
And no one ever defeated him. He was able to
Yeah,
take on
he
just
he
one
deserves to be
enemy
high up.
at a time. And so, being as strong as he
Something
is,
like that.
the Noxians then used Xinjiao as a living weapon. And together with some other gladiators, they sent Xinjiao into Demacia to claim the lands for them. That's where the Noxians were defeated, and Jarvan III thought that Xinjiao was not fighting on the right side. That's how Xinjiao was converted.
That's actually the Jarvan we saw earlier, and that's Garen and Lux's aunt.
Anyway, the point is, Xinjiao is insanely strong, but not quite as powerful as someone like Lee Sin. Lee Sin may be slightly lower
Mm.
than Xinjiao when it comes to pure fighting, but Lee Sin has the edge because he can use the Dragon's Flame. The same goes for Yasuo.
Yep.
He's also a really good fighter, but he has the edge because he can use the Wind technique. And somewhat of a
Yeah, that kid we saw in the Xinjiao, I think. That's that kid. Same dude.
similar thing goes for Victor. Victor himself is a really
Mm.
clever inventor, but his power level comes
Spoilers!
from the fact that he is really good at replacing his own body. He is simply more than a human.
I actually
On
like
a
the
similar
universe,
level to other people
game
who use
universe.
Shankar
Victor
Bhushan.
better.
And what's better than a really clever, powerful inventor?
Rumble's
A
fun.
Yordle inventor. Or
Played
three of
Rumble
them.
back in the day.
Rumble is the lowest of them because Rumble is using literal garbage for his machinery. Heimerdinger is above him because he actually knows what the
I don't know if that's still correct, but at least back in the day when I used to play League, Rumble had a crush on Tristana.
has been doing with his inventions, and
It's
Ziggs would
cute.
be above him because Ziggs is not held back by moral code. His wild side would give him the edge.
Mm.
Then we have the two guys who are tapping into the powers of the void. They are not really as insanely powerful
Yeah.
as people would think. They are really just people touched by the void. But the void is so powerful that Kassadin and Malzahar
Yeah.
would be above the rest. And then there is Kled, a
Yeah.
really old and really skilled soldier who's kinda held back by his dementia.
Mm.
A very unfortunate fate for Kled. Though because of Scarl, it almost kinda equals out. Shyvana would be on a similar
Would probably
level.
put
Being half dragon, she
the
was naturally
dude
a
ahead
really
of her.
powerful magical being. Almost as powerful as the last land-walking Vastaya, Wukong.
No,
The
still
reason
not
why
last.
Wukong is above all the other Vastaya so far is because Wukong was trained by Master Yi, which
Yeah.
means that Wukong has the
He is
basics
that
of
good.
the Guju technique. He can't use it, he didn't have access to it.
All the pentakill I ever had in League was as Mastery. Fun
Because
fact.
Master Yi did, but even with Master Yi's training on its own, Wukong is just
Yeah.
He is even using the battle staff of Doran. Above him, we would have Scion, a human
Battle Staff of Doran, that's a really good weapon. Artifact stuff.
being resurrected by pure dark magic. That's kinda where that ends.
Yeah.
Above him, there would be Yorick, someone who
About Scion, he killed the dragon like I think first or second, like some old king, nowhere close to current dragon. But like only after he killed the king and took his crown, he let himself die. Like I think he was working under Mordekaiser. So yes, Scion is just something else.
survived the Black Mist because he has a vial of the blessed water
Aw,
spirit,
Yarek,
and someone who has the
baby,
ability to speak to the dead
Yarek's baby.
and control the dead. Though that is not as powerful
Mm,
as someone
big
like
woman,
Ari, who is the chosen of the god of motion called Nagakebon.
big woman.
Using the Eye of the God, which is the artifact she's holding, she's able to test mortal souls. That's what she did to Gangplank. And channeling the god's powers, Ilaoi is just way above everyone else.
And much closer to her god than any other burro.
Though the Iceborn would be above her,
Yeah,
just
Iceborne,
like Ari.
pretty big.
Alright, I always wanted someone to
Finally,
say
the
that,
last one.
but no, the last land-walking Vastaya on this list. While the Iceborn are really
That's a
strong
door
themselves,
he's
they
holding.
are just really resilient people inheriting the distant power of the Watchers,
Door made by
while
Orn.
being able to wield
Oh,
weapons of true ice, which
it's
can
nice.
instantly kill anyone who is not
Mm-hmm.
an Iceborn. Ari is on a similar level because she is empowered by the souls of her victims.
Trice weapon causes the wielder extreme pain. And even if they are Iceborne. If you're not Iceborne, you just die, as Necrit said.
So
But
wait,
if you are an Iceborne, then like in the stories about Sejuani, it is said that when she's wielding her worst weapon, she has to bite onto a leather strap and scream in pain whenever she's holding it.
Ari is
Yeah,
actually the longer she
that
lives,
bad.
the more powerful she gets. Then above the Iceborn, we have some of the undead. Kalista is there because unlike the
Hmm.
other people from the Shadow Isles, Kalista is not utilizing the power of the Black Mist.
She's not super evil, unlike others.
That's why she is a lot lower. And Karthus is really just herding the
Yeah,
spirits. He
not
doesn't
doing
want to
much.
rise above them. And so,
Just being undead and having some magic puts him high up. Like Kaisa is basically spirit of vengeance. Honestly, I don't even know if she has full control of herself anymore. Her story with letters in Ruined King, it's like mentioned in notes, but the letters, Kalista story is very cute,
above those, we have
very
characters
sad.
who are related to the Black Mist. There is Akshan, who should
Yeah,
be on the same level as someone
abs.
like Lucian, who was way lower on the list. But the Absolver,
Hmm.
the ability to resurrect people, brings
Yeah,
him a lot higher. Next to him, there is Senna, who is also just like Lucian, but she embraces the power of the Black Mist
uh,
and the
she got
same
a
goes
boost.
for Gwen. Except for Black Mist, Gwen is using the Void.
I would actually put Gwen under Sana because Gwen is one just a doll and she doesn't have the same combat experience.
Hallowed Mist. And above them, we have the last Vastaya, who's not land walking. Being
She's a
one of the
fish.
Arai, who are one of the most ancient Vastaya that we know about, inheriting the wisdom of her people, and having the connection of the aspect of the moon, that's why Nami would be above the other Vastaya.
Hmm.
Then there is Olaf, who is really shady. Once again, not counting the lore from the Sentinels of Light, it is
Hmm.
really difficult to rank Olaf, because theoretically Olaf is immortal. As long as he fights, he can't die. That is what his prophecy said. But you know, it would be insane to say that he would be actually immortal as long as he fought. All
Yeah.
prophecies should be able to be broken. Otherwise, Olaf would have to be on the same level of something like Aurelian, a
Hmm.
never dying soul. But that would be quite insane. That's why Olaf is where he is. A
Yeah.
really strong fighter with uncanny powers, just like Tryndamere.
I think like if Olaf like fought something like Aatrox, he not even his whole thingy could keep him alive. One strong enough can definitely kill him. He's still just a mortal man.
Tryndamere is above everyone else because he is tapping into the power of the Darkin. That's where his encounter with Aatrox
Hmm.
So basically, he is a Freljordian warrior tapping into some insane
Not
power.
an Iceborn.
So,
Neither Tridamir nor Olaf are Iceborn, but they are still running about without shirts. Logic.
Yone, that's why Yone is above him.
Indeed.
He's also the
Indeed.
really powerful swordsman who is tapping into the power of the Ionian demons called
Hmm.
Katakana. And
Yeah.
that's why Varus is slightly above him. Varus is the combination of two veteran archers who were incredible hunters and one
And in
pretty
love.
bad Darkin. But here, since the
Yeah, for a long time, Varus was the closest thing a League community had to as the same gender romance. Now we had a very, very sad story about Leona and Diana, and we have Graves and Twisted Fate. Yeah, these two like each other, but do not want to admit it. There was a story, I think Necrit has video on it, where they like after getting out of trouble, they are talking about their exes, and like they are totally jealous of each other. It's funny.
also has some control over the body, Varus
Hmm.
is just way higher than Cain. And he would be on the same level of someone like Yone. And then we have the Yordles. Unlike the
Yordles.
other Yordles,
Yeah,
including Kled, the reason why
still at least
these
one
are so
Yordle
powerful is because
after them.
their connection to the spirit realm is a lot higher.
Yeah.
Ziggs, Heimerdinger, and Rumble are really just cruising
Hmm.
in the mortal realms, while all of these Yordles are embracing the spiritual powers. Tristana would be the weakest of them, followed by Poppy, who has the edge because she is
Yeah, because they don't use any sort of magic,
the Hammer of Orlon, a legendary artifact weapon.
and Corky has no lore.
Above her, there would be Lulu,
Yep.
one of the most powerful
Yordle
Yordle
mage.
warriors in Bandle City. Above her, there would be Kennen, whose link to the spirit realm is
Yeah.
far higher than anyone else's, because he is one of the leaders of Kinku. And above him, there is Teemo. We don't know too much about Teemo, but we know that
Nice.
despite his
Fucked up.
looks, Teemo is one of the deadliest Yordles out there, and a
Yeah.
master assassin at the same time. So whether Teemo or Kennen is stronger, that's really up to you. Above
I would
Kennen,
say Timo because Timo would not be beyond using underhanded tactics. Yeah. Kenan would think it would care more about honor and stuff more than Timo.
next there would be Trundle. Trolls in
Hmm.
general are incredibly strong. They are pretty much immune to the frost, but Trundle
Hmm.
himself is also an iceborn. He wields a true ice
Yeah.
weapon. That on top of the fact that trolls have incredibly
I
strong
played League before Franzel was icy. Back when I played League, he had like swampy things.
level generating powers, Trundle is just
That was not
way
long
higher
ago.
than people would expect. But he's not quite as powerful as something like Vastai Shirei.
Mm,
To be
there
sneaky,
is a difference.
Yuriko is not a pure Vastai Shirei. If she was, she would be way higher on the list. But she is close enough to her pure ancestors that her power levels are just way too high. That's why, notice I didn't call her a Vastai.
Volstaya Ray are like one of the first races to walk Runeterra. And they were like crazy powerful. And yeah, being closely related to them really gives me a
On a
boost.
similar level to something like Maokai. Maokai is a nature spirit, but the thing with Maokai is that
Baby.
Maokai is barely surviving. He's
He's
doing
baby.
all he can to push back the Black Mist, so he is not in the best shape.
I like
And then
Maokai.
there would be Nunu, but Nunu's powers
Hmm.
don't really come from Nunu. It's all about Willem. From Nunu's
Yep.
story, we get
Unlike Annie, I think Nunu has a bit more control of what Willam does. So, yeah. Also, fun fact Annie and Tibers have two parts of a demon. Well, I think Tybalt is one of two demons that used to serve under Mordekaiser. Yeah, it was put into that's Legends of Runeterra, but like the demon was put in Annie's mother. Then she had Annie, and the whole thing was very unstable. So her mother basically sacrificed herself, put the part of the demon that was still in her into Tibers, and now the demon uses Tibers to basically protect himself. He doesn't really care about Annie. He cares about that she is currently his host, and it probably can't really do much without her.
Learned that the ancient Yetis were insanely powerful. They had incredible connections to magic, and
Hmm.
their wisdom was inconceivable. So Willem alone is able to carry Nunu. Literally. After that, we have Janna. Janna is also a primal spirit, but she's not in her
Put
best
some
form.
clothes on.
Before Piltover and Zone split, many people worshipped
She
her,
needs an
but she
update.
wasn't her best.
Usual one.
Since
And
then,
the new
many
outfit.
people in Zone pray to Janna, and Janna gets her power from her followers. That's why she's not as high as she could be. Lilia is on the same level. She's also a spirit born from dreams in Ionia.
But a
Not
very
a
young one.
powerful spirit, but powerful enough.
For a spirit, she's
Then
young.
we get to Rel. Rel is an incredible mage who
Yeah.
is thought to be able to fight someone like Mordekaiser
And
with
she
a
has a lot of
single
training.
blow. Currently, Rel is held back by two facts. She is a child and she has no real training.
She had some training. She was in a magic school run by the Black Rose. And that was a very messed up place where they would pit students against each other and siphon the magic of the weaker one into the stronger ones. And a lot of that was put into Rel. And now she's running around Noxus destroying Black Rose's stuff and freeing those truant students because that doesn't have a good impact on you.
Once both of those factors get cancelled out, she'll be a lot higher. Above her, there is Veigar, the last Yordle on this list who is the most powerful Yordle that we know about. And
Yep.
above him, there is a spirit.
Veigar has the connections to Mordekaiser. Basically, Mordekaiser tortured him to get his Yordle secrets. And that kind of messed up his brain, and now Veigar is evil, but not quite because he is a Yordle, after all. Yordles can't really be evil, I think. So whenever he tries to do something evil, it actually ends up being good. His stories are, from what I hear, remember, are pretty hilarious.
The spirit that is not in a bad shape. Ivern is a spirit that was born
The
from the Omikaela, the world tree of Ionia. That alone makes Ivern really powerful. But he's still not the primal spirit of the entire continent. He is essentially just a spirit, in a slightly weaker form because Ivern the Cruel, the Freljordian warrior,
Mhm.
cut down the original tree that was responsible for the power of the spirit. So even Ivern is not in his prime.
Yeah.
And Ivern would have a
We'll
sister
cut this
with
video
him,
into two parts.
Camille. Camille is an expert assassin, forged by the
Yeah.
Hextech to be perfect. She has
She's way beyond Katarina and Talon. Way beyond. She's an assassin and a spy in one.
enhanced vision, she really can't miss, and she got the best training Piltover could
And
get.
she's part robot.
She's an assassin brought to perfection.
Yeah.
Tell you,
She's more than a human. She's, as you could see from her legs, she's part Hextech. And she's hella old. And yeah, she basically has no heart.
on a similar level, he's a Petricite
Mm,
Titan. He's really big, but that's kinda where his power
yeah.
came from. If he wasn't big, Gallium
And magic is useless against him. He will just yep, extend his wake up time
would be actually
for
way
with
lower
it.
on the list. Because besides moving around, he doesn't do much. Maybe
Mm,
besides absorbing magic. But even that can backfire. On a
yeah.
similar level, there would also be Skarner. If you really think about it, Skarner is just a dude. But he's a different species. So it is really the fact that he has a Hextech battery on his tail that brings him this high.
Yeah. Fun fact for arcane fans: Hextech crystals are actually the crystal he has on his tail. That's a Hextech crystal. It stores his memories. And Seraphine can hear Breckern. That's the name of the race. Breckern in the Hextech crystal powering her stage. Yeah, that's messed up. She's not doing anything about it. She really needs a updated story that includes stuff like that, and maybe be handled by people who made the Legends of Frontier, I think. I'm sorry if you heard my email. um, Nothing too important, but it's a thing. Let's move on.
So it is really the fact that he has a hextech battery on his tail that brings him this high.
Hmm.
Then there is Udyr, a
My favorite.
streetwalker channeling the power of the primal gods of Freljord. There is not much more I can say on this. He's a
I played Udyr back in the day.
guy who is stepping into
He
the
came
realm
out.
of godly powers. That's why
Haven't played League in years.
Aphelios is
He
also a
wasn't the
guy
thing
who is
then.
stepping into godly powers of the moon goddess. And that's why Pantheon is next to
Yeah,
him.
with magic weapons.
Pantheon used to be a god
Hmm.
himself, but after the aspect of war
Yeah,
died, now he is a dude that is stepping into the remnants of a godly power.
and he's trying to topple the aspects. Fun fact: he doesn't use his spear against non-aspects. Could be seen in one cinematic where when he fights standard Solari dudes, he uses his fist. When Leona stops by, he just then grabs his spear. Doesn't use the spear on anyone other than aspects. And maybe he will use it on
And
Aatrox.
that's why Swain is next to him.
Mm,
Because Swain is stepping into the godly powers of a demon. And one of the more powerful demons at that.
yep.
The demon of secrets, Realm. And following the patterns,
Honestly, there's more to Realm that we know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Realm is actually part of a bigger demon that just crawling around Runeterra collecting more and more secrets, like feeding on them, like attaching beasts and other smaller demons to people and to siphon their secrets to feed himself, something like that. Like that's a fan theory. That's I think it's very interesting. That's my writer thoughts. Let's call it that.
there is Pike.
Pike,
Pike is a guy who's
like
stepping
Pike.
into the powers of Nagake Boros. While he should be on the same
I
level
love his
as
story.
Ilawi. Ilawi is only following the powers of Nagake Boros. And she is
Hmm.
wielding them for the gods too. But Pike is infused with those powers. He's almost
Yeah.
controlled by the god.
That's why in Ruined King he survived the trial by Ilawi. The swimming city, the beast below, it's all connected to Nagakebara's motion, and his story is kind of fucked up. There is no records on of the ship that he supposedly was part of the crew of when he died. Hmm. And his list never ends.
But Pike is infused with those powers. He's almost being
Hmm.
split.
So that
Nasus. Nasus is
mm,
really powerful,
poor
but
Nessus.
he's also quite depressed these days. So he is not in his best form. Then there is
Yeah,
Nocturne. The reason why
Nocturne.
Nocturne, unlike the other
Yeah, Nocturne is a demon that lacks a refield. Basically, there's this village called Fossbarrow, named after Foss in Crownguard, some great grandfather of Lax and Garen, who sealed the Nocturne there ages, years and years ago, in early Demacia years, I think. And some, and recently, the seal started getting weaker, and Nocturne managed to take control of a young mage. And of course, a lot of messed up stuff started happening around the village. People got nightmares so terrible because Nocturne is a nightmare demon. People started getting nightmares so terrible they couldn't sleep, just refused, and that didn't go well with their brains. And Nocturne could then control more people, influence them. And he influenced like some guy killed his wife, and so on. And then Garen and his squad of Chads and Lux roll into town, and while the Chad squad is running around the city killing people for being mages, Lux went to the forest, found the young mage, put enough life into Nocturne to seal him away again, then told the boy that it's okay to be a mage, and then forgot to tell everyone that it was a demon and not a mage. The Master is a really terrible place, if you think about it. Because the kid is not a crown guard. He doesn't have a fancy name, and being like one of the top candidates to marry Jarvan to protect him. Yeah, Axe's family is planning lying to marry her to the king, so that she could be protected from her own magic. Like, from the people who hunt mages, because Demacia is a wonderful place with no issues. Oh, it's a terrible, terrible place. But yeah, Kid must have been thrilled when he heard that her brother beheaded his neighbor in the middle of the town. Yep. Yep. What I just told. Said. Look.
Then there is someone like Hekrim, who is this
Mm-hmm.
high because he is fully embracing the power of the Black Mist. Hekrim can freely make up his own army as he wishes. We learned that
Mm-hmm.
from his very recent story in Demacia. He simply reaches into the Black Mist, pulls out a spirit, and he uses that spirit as his own soldier.
Yep.
That's why Hekrim can
He wasn't a centaur back when he was alive. He just got merged with his horse after he died. When Viego tried to revive his old queen. Yep. He is merged with his horse.
Silas would be on a similar
Mm.
level. Though Silas's power is highly situated.
Silas is
Silas is in the middle of nowhere.
very, very sensual.
He needs
Yep.
to be around something magical. But the reason why he is this high, unlike the other mages, despite having somewhat simple magical abilities, Silas
Mm-hmm.
was able to wield the power of Morgana when he was
Yeah.
in the city. Under normal circumstances, normal mortals would be broken by such powers.
I think he might have pulled it from just the petricite everything is built of. All of the Martian buildings are built of this material, petricite. It's made of stone mixed with a magic absorbing wood. And so all the buildings absorb magic. And Morgana and Kale were born in Demacia. Like, Kale is still worshipped there as a goddess. Morgana used to be. But I think currently it's only Kale. But like, there's probably their magic in the buildings. And I think that's where he got it from. And he can also hold a choice weapon.
But Silas was able to tap into the powers of gods and then wield them. That
Mm.
is special. Someone
So,
like Zed would be still slightly above him.
and Silas is is in charge of the Mages Rebellion in Demacia. He started it.
Technique is simply that powerful. It is similar to Nocturne himself, but Nocturne is still weaker because he is banished.
And Zed is not inherently evil. He's just willing to go beyond the honor that binds the Kinku Order to protect Ionia. He used to be in the Kinku Order with Shen, actually. Was adopted by Shen's father. Well, like, you guys remember Dream from Way Down? Like, just being down there doesn't stop him being just a normal dude. By the way, he's very plain dude without his mask. Like, he can take off his mask, take off his costume, you will not recognize him in the crowd. It's that plain. But yeah, Shin, uh, one, he traumatized the master of the King Order so bad, his hair went gray, and Shen Zed also have some severe PTSD from him.
That's why Zed
Like, in Ionia, it's pretty much forbidden to say that Jin is just a human. Is that terrible? That his art of killing is that gruesome and terrible. Just can't have people knowing he's a human. Because, like, he's to the Ionians, all that's the worst in a person.
Zed is so high. And then there is Renekton.
Mm.
Renekton is simply far stronger
He
than
crazy.
Silas. And in the latest story, we even saw what happens if someone tries to
Mm.
take Renekton down. Some kind of weird celestial magic reshapes Renekton's bones
Yeah.
into meat and snaps him back together. Reading his story was quite mind-blowing. But what we learned from that is that we always underestimate Renekton's power. Then
He's also a bit crazy.
we finally get another demon, Tam
Okay.
the most powerful one, but he is still a demon.
Mhm.
So his power level in general would be way above everyone else.
He will feed people's greed, like give them stuff, money, power, influence. And when they are at the and then they will take it away, and when they are the most desperate, the most greedy, will eat them. That's how demons work.
Kinda on the the
Mm.
biggest
So cool.
Voidborn on Runeterra that we know about. We have no idea what Cho'Gath is. But being the
Yeah.
Brood Mother, Rek'Sai is just insanely powerful. And then there is Nautilus. If you thought that Pike was really good because he was infused with the powers of
Mm-hmm.
Nagakiboros, he's nothing compared to Nautilus.
Yeah.
Nagakiboros forced Nautilus into a full-on titan. At this point, Nautilus is the right hand of
Nautilus used to be a diver. He dove for treasures from sunken ships. And in Bilgewater, there's this tradition to toss some coins into the ocean to appease the beasts below. Captain on a certain ship that hired Nautilus was not from Bilgewater and did not pay that tithe, and the ship is sunk. Like Nautilus drowned. No, Nautilus was cut off, just like Pike. And now, whenever someone doesn't pay the tithe, Nautilus comes after them. In the Legends of Runeterra cinematic, you can see that when there's a boy who falls into the ocean with his coins, and Nautilus only takes the coins as that payment for protection.
And then we have Shen. Being the Eye of Twilight, Shen has by far the best connection to the spirit realm, at least out of all the mortals. He is really deadly in the physical.
Bridgewater is a very interesting place, but with how it connects just normal people in the pirates from the Bridgewater and the Buru and all the other crazy things. Not even counting the Shadow Isles. Like Pike, Nautilus, they are enough to make that place interesting without the Isles.
Realm, and he's really deadly in the spirit realm. There's really not much people can do
Mm-hmm.
fighting him. Then there is Brand. Normally Brand would be a lot higher, because Brand is essentially using the power of a world rune.
Yeah.
But the point of Brand's story is that Brand can't control the power of a world rune.
Yeah.
The power consumed him. So yes, he is.
I think he used to be Rise's student or a fellow student and Rise's master, something like that. Their stories are connected. Because Rise is connecting and is collecting and hiding away the world runes.
Really strong, but
Ugh.
doesn't have the power under control. That's why
Yeah.
he's slightly lower. And then there is Thresh. I'm recording this before we got the finale of the Light Sentinel event, so that one will definitely change Thresh's power. But currently, it seems like Thresh will be the new leader of the Shadow Isles. That's why he is right here. He is holding inconceivable power, just like someone like Syndra.
Yeah, currently he would be a lot higher because he siphoned away Viego's power, some of Viego's power when he was still away.
Syndra should be a lot
Something like
higher,
that.
or at least she has the potential to be high.
Yep.
But Syndra killed every teacher who tried to
Yeah.
teach her how to use her powers. So while Syndra has unlimited potential,
Yeah, she's pretty much self-taught.
as she says, the potential is very limited by her own abilities. She simply has
Mm-hmm.
no idea what she's doing. Then there is Zyra. The reason why Zyra is so high is because Zyra is a plant that is currently consuming about a third
Yeah.
of the Kumungu jungles are being devastated by her, so I wouldn't.
Is a jungle at this point.
And then we get to some really powerful mages.
Really
Zillion
powerful.
is insanely strong,
Lots of
not
training.
just because he has the mastery over chronomancy, and not just because
Eye magic.
people who are able to resist the void, but also because he is a mage who trained in Shrima.
Yeah, like in Shrima there is the circle of time mages that I think Zillion is in charge of. They are trying to freeze the void in time.
Ikathia in Ishtal and on the Blessed Isles. Simply said, he is a really powerful mage in general. Just like Vladimir. Vladimir is a mage who has the mastery over hemomancy, which originated from the Darkin. Combine this with the fact that hemomancy in general has the ability to make you stronger over time, because you simply reshape your body to be stronger and
Yeah.
stronger.
Same thing that made Darken. Darken are crazy powerful.
He also comes from Kamavor, and also back in the
Is Viego's uncle.
days, LeBlanc considered Vladimir to be her only equal. She has never met a more powerful mage. That's why Vladimir is so high. He should be higher, but because Vladimir is hiding in Noxus all the time, he doesn't really have a chance to expand his powers.
He's a bit of a coward, actually.
Jax, or Syjax Koari Ikathun. There's not much to say about him. Jax is
That's an achievement.
He's the only one who was able to defeat a god warrior. For that
Mm.
alone, that's why he is this high. But also,
Like, the god warriors were made to fight the void. Yeah, that's crazy good.
he's holding the last flame of Icathia, and it
Mm-hmm.
is possible that he is a sand troll. So
Icathia was eaten by the void. I think Necrit talks about it in his World of Riot MMO. We'll probably react to it another time.
he might be like Trundle, but on steroids.
Mm.
And there is Evelyn, simply a really
A
powerful
demon.
that can shape into anything.
Yep.
She grows more powerful.
Yeah, she's powerful and she's actively hunting and she's not sealed away.
Over time, the more people she kills. Then there is Malphite. His power really comes from the fact that he is simply really big. He is the shard of the monolith, which was a floating Ishtali citadel. So coming
Mhm.
from a purely elemental place, his powers are just really high.
Yeah.
However, not as
Just a fart and he's big.
high as the best elementalist mage from Ishtal, Kiana. In the entirety of that entire region, there simply isn't a better
Yep.
mage. Kiana.
She's like the youngest of several siblings and she wants to become the next ruler of Ishtar. That's, I think, her story. From what I gather.
Kiana is that powerful. Very slightly more powerful than her, there will be Azir, who is able to single-handedly raise entire armies from sand. He is the most powerful ascendant there has ever been, and he might be the most powerful emperor Shurima has ever had. Zerath would be slightly above him for one simple reason.
Actually, Azir recently came back to life because he died and then he came back to life. How? Sivir is his closest, was, before he came back to life, was his closest living relative. And Sivir was a guide for an expedition on which Cassiopeia got cursed. Of course, Cassiopeia wasn't happy that she was now a snake, so she tried to kill Sivir, but Sivir landed in some deeper ruin, in some pool, and when her blood mixed with the waters of that pool, it brought back Azir. Something like that. I'm talking from memory, I'm not Necrit, I don't know every single thing about lore. But that basically brought Azir back, and now he's rebuilding his empire.
Azir got the powers from the Sun Disk willingly.
Ascended are like Nasus and Renekton are basically immortal. Also, this is why Renekton is insane.
But
Azir.
forced those
So,
powers into his
Zeraf.
body. Zerath took more power than what was intended.
Mm-hmm.
That's why his power level is higher.
Zeraf was Azir's slave, and he really hoped that Azir would abolish slavery when he became the emperor. Like, he did a lot of terrible things to make sure that Azir was the emperor. He wasn't the previous emperor's favorite child, but Azir made sure there were no other heirs, basically. And when Azir was just about to say, after during his ascension, that he was abolishing slavery, Zeraf betrayed him. Like, at this point, he just went too far. There was no coming back for him. And basically, that resulted in Azir dying, and the Darkin happening. Because there was no Azir to control the Ascended, who were getting slightly crazy after fighting with some Void in Ikatia. Yeah, it's all Zeraf's fault.
And we get to Master Yi. I could honestly rant about Yi for hours.
We love you around here.
To why Yi is so high. Here's why. The Vuju technique is so powerful. It was never intended to be used in combat. But when the Noxian invasion arrived, Yi thought, maybe I should use
I
it.
should help.
So he did. And he killed thousands of Noxians alone. The Noxians were so afraid of him, they
I think my brother is back.
down his home village and nuked it.
But we are not almost done.
No, there are no other warriors.
I just watched this video because the stream is already getting along for me.
Technique is so powerful
That's Master Doran.
because it dates back to the first ever mortal race to
This is Master Yi when he was young, and this is Master Doran.
exist on the planet. The first ever Vastai
I think.
used this technique when fighting the first stone titans. That's why
Yeah.
he is where he is. Vel'Koz would be on a similar level because as one of the oldest Voidborn, Master Yi, he is able to kill thousands of people in the blink of an eye.
Pretty strong.
Then there is Tariq, who might be the weakest of the aspects, but hey, he's an aspect.
I'll talk about Tariq another time.
LeBlanc. Once again, we are not counting political powers, but LeBlanc is ancient at this point. She is.
Give me a second. To tell brother to be quiet. We'll see if that works. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Now she's mastering all the black magic that Mordekaiser was hiding in Noxus, and
she's also the one who sealed him away, sent him back to the afterlife.
Dominating and corrupting the minds of people all over Runeterra. She has eyes everywhere because, quite frankly, she is mind controlling people everywhere. That's what her clones are about. Her clones are the influence over the entire world. I really wouldn't underestimate LeBlanc's power. Then above LeBlanc, we have another powerful aspect, Leona, and above her there is Karma, who is Dara, a mortal vessel to the entire Ionian spirit. The spirit of an entire continent is inside Karma. So just like the aspects, she is
has huge power potential.
the weakest of the primal gods.
And the thing about Karma is that, unlike all the previous vessels for the Ionian spirit, she's a lot more active, especially around the Nox invasion. She was not popular decisions. Yep, doesn't have floor to be here, I will guess.
But we know that he is snacking on the Voidborn like they were Cheetos. At least he is very powerful because he is Voidborn Cheetos. And then there is Rise, someone who has the potential of the power
he
of
is
world runes.
pretty powerful.
Then someone like Syndra, who has the potential but she doesn't know how to use it. Rise also has the potential and he also can use the power if he wished to do so. But he simply doesn't do it because he's afraid he's gonna destroy the entire world.
Yeah.
So Rise is simply insanely strong. He is wielding the power that shaped the entire world. And then there is Diana, one of the stronger.
I think close to top 10.
Unlike Leona,
yeah.
Diana is actually actively pursuing the powers of the moon. Then there is Viego.
And she's younger.
Viego is simply really powerful because he is the source of the moon.
Though now he would probably be lower because he's still away in Camavor.
He is the one who can dominate
spoilers
of pretty much anything, but he's held back by the fact that he doesn't care about corruption.
They are not quiet.
Then there is Morgana, also technically a Targonian aspect, but above someone like Diana and Leona. She and Kael were there when Demacia was formed, so they have wisdom.
Kael and Morgana are children of an aspect. The sheer power of her. But Morgana gave up on part of the power. I think he says it.
While someone like Diana and Leona are still trying to figure out what is even happening.
Yep.
Compared to them, Leona and Diana are young.
Necrit has a video about Morgana and Kael's mother. It's based on Tales of Runeterra, but since we have nothing else about her, I would say we can consider it lore until proven otherwise.
Then we have another really powerful
True ice weapons, when they are near Ornn, melt.
And as strong as someone like Ornn,
yeah. Melt to become normal weapons. He's strong. He is the Dark General. He was like the general of the Ascended.
And as long as a mortal is holding his blade and Aatrox can dominate them, Aatrox is unstoppable. He is the only being in existence that we know about
Only.
able to kill a
That's
god. That being
a big thing.
And on the exact same level as Aatrox, I would say we have Kael. Kael is likely the most powerful of the Targonian mortal vessels, being the
because she works the closest with the actual aspect god Korea.
Theoretically, responsible for Garen's ultimate, but we don't
Yep.
count that into Garen's power. Garen's ultimate is technically Kale's power.
Argonian aspects come in two parts. The aspect themselves, or like pretty much a constellation in the sky, and have all the power, and their mortal vessel, like Kyle, like Morgana, like Tariq, who get their power from the aspect, and the aspect influences them to do certain things. Like Tariq needs to protect the natural beauty and art and stuff.
And the reason why Morgana is below her is because Morgana willingly gave up on some of her powers.
Yep, she gave part of her power to Kale.
Lissandra. While
As the
Lissandra
note
got
said.
really powerful when the three sisters were still alive,
Mhm.
and she got wounded by the polypag.
Ash and the Sejuani's clans are named after those two sisters.
Over time, mastering the ability to not only use the true ice, but also the black ice, she is simply far more powerful than people give credit for.
Mhm.
She is the only person
Yeah.
who is able to keep back the Watchers.
She froze them under Freljord, along killing her sisters along
End of all
in the
reasons.
process.
That's why
And she's collecting Iceborne to, one, feed their dreams to the sealed Watchers, and two, to use them to enforce the seal on the Watchers.
she may be the most powerful mortal in existence. But still above her, we have the stronger of the primal gods, the Voidhead. Then we
Mhm.
have Soraka. While it is
I
true
used to
that
play Soraka.
Soraka is purely powerful,
I once played Soraka at the top. That was ages ago. Ages. I think the game was very new then. But like I was winning at the top. I don't remember who I was against. Like it was funny.
Soraka gave up on her celestial powers so
Mhm.
that she could drop down onto Runeterra, get a physical form, and help mortals from their suffering.
She used to have lore connected to Warwick, but then it
Soraka
changed.
does have a physical body right now, but her power is so strong her body is burning from the
Yeah.
inside. That's
Even with that, she's top 7. Like the physical body is limiting her.
why in game when you heal
Still
somebody,
top
you lose
7.
health. It's because the powers of Soraka are too strong for her mortal body to handle. Essentially, she is slowly dying.
Mm.
Then we have Mordekaiser, a
This
warlord
guy.
who, when he was alive, constructed the Immortal Bastion and devastated an entire continent on his own.
Yeah.
He himself died on a mountain of corpses. But then he died, he found out there were no gods of death, and so he just
Love this
decided
man.
to become a god of death. If you thought that Viego was the
Yeah.
god of the undead, you have no idea what Mordekaiser is about. His power is
Yeah. He died. He became the started to learn how to control the afterworld. Some cultists reached out and summoned him into a piece of armor resembling his old armor, thinking they could use him as a walking weapon. He was like, haha, no. Then he created Noxus Empire, and then after some time, LeBlanc kicked him out, basically. But yeah, he is.
far beyond.
If he comes back, then he will make Viego look like nothing,
He is
pretty much.
true king of the realm of the dead. Then there is Zoe,
The black mist stops ghosts from crossing over. He controls the ghosts that when they cross over.
the aspect of Twilight, who would rank
Any
even with
ghosts.
someone like Kale, simply
Mm.
because
Ah,
Twilight is
yeah.
that powerful. But also, it is the Twilight that currently holds the reins to Aurelian's
Mm. Mm.
slightly above the rest. Then there is Bard. Now, while Bard is not really a
I love the
bard,
top 3 in this video.
to hurt anyone, Bard are the first sounds the cosmos ever
Mm-hmm.
produce. He is on the same level of something like Aurelian's soul. He is simply a pure cosmic energy. But unlike Soraka, he didn't bind himself
Yeah.
to a mortal form. He just
I said that Soraka, if she wasn't in a mortal form, would be top 5. Would be over Zoe.
visited Runeterra, and he didn't want to scare people, so he borrowed some items from the traveling.
It's cute.
He is
It's a
still
baby.
a pure celestial being. And
Yeah.
around him, I would rank Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks is one of the few. Is only demon who doesn't have an actual physical form. He's just hanging out in that cage, using the Scarecrow as a puppet. Like, Evelyn made herself a physical form. Tankrench has a physical form. Nocturne, to a point, has a physical form. Not Fiddlesticks. Love the new Fiddlesticks, by the way.
Is the primal demon. He is the
Yeah.
dark force that is moving the entirety of Runeterra.
Mm.
He is the source of the legend of the Ten Kings.
The original evil.
The Ten Kings were one
Oh,
king
gee.
consumed the rest. So it is possible that once there were 10 demons, but Fiddlesticks consumed the rest. He is the primal evil. And no, the Scarecrow is not Fiddlesticks.
Mhm.
The demon is inside the Scarecrow, and he's just using it
Yep.
as a vessel.
And he's currently in Demacia. Very happy with the aftermath of Nocturne's little stunt. Scaring people and eating people around villages at the outskirts. And of course, mages are being blamed, as you can see in the cinematic.
Remember,
Filthy mages.
first of 10, Fiddlesticks, end of men.
I imagine that being said in a little child.
Aurelian soul
I agree that Aurelion is number 2, no matter what people say. Number 1, let's wait for that for number 1.
You know, a technical god, because he
Let's
has the
remember
ability
his
to
fancy
create
headpiece.
stars around which you form planets. You couldn't get more godly than that. However, even Aurelian is not the most powerful, because it was confirmed everyone in reality has to meet the end, and Aurelian's soul
Kindred.
is no exception. Even he can't avoid it.
I would say that yes, Kindred are 100% stronger than Aurelion. Guess know why? Because they don't feel emotions like anything else on this list. Like, the wolf feels emotions, the lamb knows what they are, but like, if he doesn't feel them, he doesn't understand them. But Aurelion has emotions. And Aurelion can feel pride. And Aurelion has that fancy headpiece made of celestial star metal that allows Targaryen aspects to control him. These two don't have that. They can do whatever they want, he can't. They are definitely stronger.
And that is the list of all the champions ranked according to their power, according to their lore. Quite a longer video than I expected, but you know, we had to do it. It was inevitable. Of course, if you don't agree with something, feel free to argue with us in the comment section. The comment section is gonna be quite the battle of mains anyway. Remember, we spent 4 hours on stream with about 500
Yeah.
people talking about this. I really think this list is ridiculous.
Stop here. Let's go to this. Start some music. So, I think that's going to be it for today. My brother is back, he's going to be noisy and a whole bunch of stuff. I'll probably just stream tomorrow. Probably on Monday. I'll see if we will be streaming games or if we will be watching more Necrit. Because I like this. I like doing a reaction and adding my 2 bits to it. Not just being gassed at something. This is more fun than um just not knowing something. But that's my opinion. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. If you enjoy this, being on YouTube, be it on Twitch at Twitch VOD, I would highly recommend you follow me on either of or both of those and on Tumblr. I try to be a good streamer and post when like a little bit ahead of time on Tumblr. So if you have a Tumblr and you want to know when streams happen and don't trust Twitch, that's a good place to get updates. And you can also get updates on my fics and other things there. Especially if you also like Minecraft YouTube. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you have a great rest of your day or whatever time it is, wherever you are, or whatever you do.